YouTube. So, it's your boy Tone. I'm back with another one for you. And this one is a little document called the Nuremberg Code. So, we're going to run through this briefly. And I'll give my personal opinion on this shit. So, the Nuremberg Code. The voluntary consent of the human subject is absolutely essential. This means that the person involved should have legal capacity to give consent, should be so situated as to be able to exercise free power of choice without the intervention of any element of force, fraud, deceit, duress, overreaching, or other ulterior form of constraint or coercion, and should have sufficient knowledge and comprehension of the elements of the subject matter involved as to enable him to make an understanding and enlightened decision. This latter element requires that before the acceptance of an affirmation decision by the experimental subject, there should be made known to him the nature, duration, and purpose of the experiment, the method and means by which it is to be conducted, all inconveniences and hazards reasonably to be expected, and the effects upon his health or person which may possibly come from his participation in the experiment. The duty and responsibility for ascertaining the quality of the consent rests upon each individual who initiates, directs, or engages in the experiment. It is a personal duty and responsibility which may not be delegated to another with impunity. The experiment should be such as to yield fruitful results for the good of society, unprocurable by other methods or means of study, and not random and unnecessary in nature. The experiment should be so designed and based on the results of an animal experimentation and a knowledge of the natural history of the disease or the other problem under study that the anticipated result will justify the performance of the experiment. The experiment should be so conducted as to avoid all unnecessary physical and mental suffering and injury. Right? So this is international law, mind you. So what we have here is a picture of these fucking chemtrails that these people are spraying in the goddamn sky. Right? Fucking up my nose, making it hard for me to breathe, itchy eyes, all that shit. What type of nanotech are you spraying? What other fucking fungus are you spraying in there? What herbicidal chemicals do you have in there to stop people's crops from growing? What is it that's fucking going on right here? Again, I don't recall ever giving consent to being a fucking experiment for these people to be flying around over the skies like that. Now, who should be held liable for that? But why don't you go and speak to the people in the airplane towers, the flight control or the air traffic control people? I'm pretty sure that they would know a little something about who's up there flying, right? So, you got to start holding these motherfuckers accountable, really, because they're all gonna pretend to not know what's going on until they can't anymore. You know what I'm saying? So you start putting these people in a fucking position where they have to fucking do something or not. But it's not. Somebody knows something. Get to the fucking bottom of it. It's really that fucking simple. If you think that people are not paying the price already as we speak, you're out of your mind. You don't see people disappearing off the TV, fucking switching out politicians and actors, and all these motherfuckers are getting switched out. When are you gonna get switched out? Probably pretty fucking soon, if I had to guess. So all these clowns' days are numbered, bro. I can guarantee you that. So right here, we go to the other side. No experiment should be conducted where this is a priori reason to believe that death or disabling injury will occur, except perhaps in those experiments where the experimental physicians also serve as subjects. And so it doesn't matter just because you're part of the fucking experiment too that nobody else has a fucking option to not be part of this shit. I mean, you motherfuckers want to kill yourself, go jump off a bridge, bro. But you're not going to be sitting here spraying people just because you're part of it and then think that that's cool. You're out of your mind. So the degree of risk to be taken should never exceed that determined by the humanitarian importance of the problem to be solved by the experiment. Proper preparation should be made and adequate facilities provided to protect the experimental subject against even the remote possibility of injury, disability, or death. The experiment should be conducted only by the scientifically qualified persons. The highest degree of skill and care should be required through all stages of the experiment, and those who conduct and engaging the experiment. During the course of the experiment, the human subject should be at liberty to bring the experiment to an end if he has reached the physical or mental state where continuation of the experiment seemed to him to be impossible. During the course of the experiment, the scientist in charge must be prepared to terminate the experiment at any stage. If he has probable cause to believe in the exercise of the good faith, superior skill, and careful judgment required of him, that a continuation of the experiment is likely to result in injury, disability, or death to the experimental subject. Trials of war criminals before Nuremberg military tribunals under Control Council Law, number 10, volume 2, Washington, D.C., U.S. Government Printing Office, 1949. So, if you guys think that these people are not facing military tribunals as we speak, you're out of your mind. And anybody involved with that shit that's listening, bro, coming for that ass. Believe that. So that's what I got for you for now. Until we meet again.